Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're keeping safe and well. And in the words of the legendary Alan Partridge, hope you're having a really good Monday wherever you are in the world and whatever you are planning to get up to today and over the week as a whole. On today's show, I'm going to be bringing to you guys your latest and your greatest Tottenham Hotspur transfer rumours reports and updates that have come out over the last 24 hours. And we do have some more news in this Harry Kane saga, this never-ending, this boring Harry Kane saga going on this summer, but it is big news, hence the fact I am reporting it. We're hearing last night and we're hearing this morning that Joe Lewis has said to Daniel Levy, Harry Kane must sign a new contract or Harry Kane must go. Sign or go for Harry Kane this summer. That is what Tottenham Hotspur owner Joe Lewis has reportedly said to Daniel Levy. And look, I do think it's quite brave for Joe Lewis to come in when he's done nothing at the club for years and left it all down to Daniel Levy. Don't get me wrong, I hate Daniel Levy, hence the fact I say Enoch out at the end of every single video because I think the guy has no football IQ and he's an absolute prat. But I do think it's quite brave of Joe Lewis when he's left everything to Daniel Levy whilst he's been sailing around the Bahamas and then to come back in one of the most important potential player sales at the club in years and make a decision on it. I do think it's quite brave, but having said that, I agree with him. I do agree with Joe Lewis. I think with a player with a year left on his contract, who's not guaranteed to sign if he doesn't sign this summer, I think it's the right decision. And it's what I've been saying in my videos for weeks. We need a conclusion to this saga. Postecoglou wants a conclusion to this saga. We're hearing he's getting more and more frustrated the longer it carries on. Harry Kane must sign a new contract or Harry Kane must go. And I agree with that. We cannot afford to just say, okay, he hasn't signed a new contract, he hasn't gone to Bayern Munich. Because then for the rest of the season, that's playing on Harry Kane's head, that's playing on Postecoglou's head, that's playing on every single fan's head. And we can't focus fully on the Premier League and the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, which we need to, because this season's crucial for the development and the rebuild that Postecoglou's trying to do at this football club. So we can't have that at the back of everyone's head. And if Harry Kane doesn't sign this summer, I don't think he'll sign anyway. You cannot risk a player like Harry Kane going on a free next summer, and the whole season it will be at the back of everyone's head. We'll be trying to, rush to get him to sign a new contract when he probably won't want to because it will be another shit season. In all honesty, I just think you've got to sell him. I do think you've got to sell him. If Harry Kane signs a new contract, absolutely fantastic, right behind him. But if he doesn't, you have to sell him. Because Bayern are putting in bids worth 85 to 90 million. And when you consider, is it really worth it to keep him for another year? I know he's that good, but is it really worth it to keep him for another year when he'll probably go on a free next summer? No, it isn't. No, it isn't, in my opinion. I think you've got to sell to Bayern Munich. They're almost trying to force the move through with their president coming out and saying stuff, with reporters holding up Kane shirts in press conferences. The other news is that Bayern Munich are set to put in another bid for Harry Kane, the third bid. Overall, it should come to 85 million. I'd maybe try and push for another 5 million, but in all honesty, maybe not, because that's just going to drag on longer. Then it won't be a few more weeks until Bayern Munich bid, and then it's taking longer, this saga. People are getting more frustrated, and then if we do sell Harry Kane, which seems inevitable now, will we have time to get in a replacement? We'll be rushing to spend that Harry Kane money in this summer transfer window, and boom, transfer window closes, we don't have a replacement. So, look, Harry Kane, it is getting boring to talk about because we're talking about it everywhere. And I think as fans, and Postecoglou, I think players just want a conclusion to this saga. And for once, I actually agree with Joe Lewis. I think it's brave him coming in like this and saying it. But look, the guy's an absolute donkey. But I do agree with him on this. I think you have to sell Harry Kane if he's not going to sign a new contract, because it's too much of a risk letting a player like him go for free next summer. And the other news, like I've just reported to you there, is Bayern Munich are set to put in another bid, altogether worth 85 million. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Should Spurs accept that 85 million? And what do you think about Joe Lewis taking control of this Harry Kane situation? We're going to move on to the next piece of news, in that Pierre-Emile Højbjerg has agreed personal terms with Atletico Madrid. That deal seems to be getting closer and closer. And look, I'm tired on Højbjerg. I am. I think the guy can be an absolute warrior sometimes. I think he can be a fantastic general in that midfield. But also at times I think he can be lazy. And it winds me up when people go, the Viking, he always steps up. No, he doesn't. Did you see him in that Aston Villa game? Someone got a clip of him for 2 minutes where he literally stood there in the pitch. And just because he's had a few good performances where he's given it his all in the past, if that was Tunky and Dombele, people would be battering him for that. absolutely battering him for that. I don't think he... Look, I do think he gives his all sometimes, but not as much as people say. I think he can be commanding in the midfield, but I also think he's very prone to making a mistake. He's very prone to being out of position. And look, I have nothing against Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I wish him all the best. I think Diego Simeone, in all honesty, would be a great manager for him, because there's a lot of players in the Spurs team that have gone on about saying, you know, they'll be better under Ange Postecoglou, they're better under attacking managers. I think Højbjerg is actually a player who's better under defensive managers. He was brought in by a defensive manager in Jose Mourinho. I think he's better playing that sort of 4-2-3-1 formation or 4-4-2 alongside another midfield holding it up. I think that's what he's good at. And look, the season just gone, we didn't see the best of Højbjerg. I think the best season we actually saw of Højbjerg was probably his first one under Jose Mourinho, you know, when we signed him off Southampton. I thought he was very good in that season, in all honesty. He scored some bangers. Season after that, under Nuno and Antonio Conte, he was alright, and the season just gone. Not good enough, in my opinion, not good enough. But look, comment your thoughts on Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Personal terms, agreed with Atletico Madrid. That deal seems to be getting closer. Do you think he was underappreciated at Spurs, or do you think it is time to go, in the words of Claude from AFTV, for the so-called Viking at Tottenham Hotspur? Ellie will not be happy. She will not be happy. But look, we're going to move on to the final piece of news that I do want to discuss. I was hoping for Van den Ven updates. I was hoping for Thfc updates, because we've been hearing, if you believe what you hear in the media, that Spurs have been linked with those two players for weeks and weeks now. But no updates on those two players. No updates whatsoever. But there is news coming out this morning from a very reliable Spurs journalist, or actually probably the most reliable Spurs ITK in the Alistair Golding, that Spurs are set to make an opening bid for Tosin Adarabioyo. Now look, it is a centre-back, right? I'd rather have him than anyone else. But Tosin Adarabioyo, right? Don't get me wrong, we need centre-backs. But don't be splashing the cash on everyone you possibly see. There's so many better options than Tosin Adarabioyo. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad defender. And is he better than Dyer, Sanchez, Davies, Tanganga? Yes. But my nan's better than Dyer, Sanchez, Davies, Tanganga. She's got dementia. She walks around with a walker, and she could defend better than Dyer, Davies, Sanchez and Tanganga. He could, honestly. But look, I think with this deal, it's Tosin Adarabioyo. I just don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's good enough. I think he's better than a lot of the defence we've got, apart from Romero at the football club right now. But I think, yet again, if we go for him and just him, Spurs are doing what we're used to Tottenham doing, opting for the cheaper option in the summer transfer window, where really we should be going in for Thfc, we should be going in for Van den Ven, maybe Joachim Andersen. But Tosin Adarabioyo, I'm not against it. If we do bring him in and another centre-back, I'll be alright with it. But just Tosin Adarabioyo, it's a bit underwhelming, and it seems to me like Spurs are opting for the cheaper option. But look, I would rather have him than Davinson Sanchez. If we bring in Thfc or Van den Ven or both, and then sell Sanchez and bring him in, I'm happy with that, in all honesty. But yeah, just Adarabioyo by himself, it's not going to cut him for me. But look, we've talked about Harry Kane. We've talked about Bayern's new bid for him. Joe Lewis's ultimatum. We've talked about every piece of news that has come out. Højbjerg agree in personal terms. We've just talked about the latest and breaking news about Tosin Adarabioyo. I want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on all the news stories we have reported to you guys. Thank you for watching this video. The green screen brack as well, it is going to be back. I am going to be making improvements to the quality of the channel, because for the last year I've been sorting things out. It's been very difficult, in all honesty, to upload videos in the first place, so I've been sort of rushing to get them out in the spare room. But now that I have got a bit more time on my hands, my GCSEs are over, the green screen will be back. We'll be up in the lighting and quality of the actual content on this channel. But look, thank you for watching this video. Take care of yourselves. All the best. God bless. You guys are absolute legends. And as always, come on you Spurs. Enoch and Levy out. In Big Ange, we trust.